Stop torturing yourself on the expensive treadmill and stop believing the dangerous lie that you need to jog miles every single day to save your aging heart. They never told you this, but by forcing your senior body through high-impact, grueling cardiovascular routines, you are actually spiking your stress hormones, destroying your precious joint cartilage, and aggressively accelerating the biological aging process. Welcome back to the channel. I am Dr. Alan Mandell, and today we are talking about a massive, heavily guarded secret in the medical industry that the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical and fitness companies are perfectly happy to let you ignore. You have been told your entire adult life that simple walking is not a real workout, that it is not enough to fix your high blood pressure, your creeping weight gain, your stiff lower back, and your afternoon brain fog. But a groundbreaking, highly comprehensive new study published just recently by researchers at Harvard Medical School looked at over 16,000 women over the age of 70 and found something absolutely shocking. Researchers discovered that simply walking a mere 4,400 steps a day, not 10,000 but 4,400, reduced all-cause mortality by an astonishing 41%. This gentle, invisible medicine actually drastically lowers the mechanical strain on your aging heart, reversing the silent suffocation of your deep tissue circulation. The mainstream medical establishment just tells you to buy expensive gym memberships, or worse, they lazily prescribe you another expensive statin pill with a terrifying laundry list of side effects. Today, I am going to reveal a definitive 5-step breakdown of exactly what happens inside your miraculous body when you commit to a daily walking routine, addressing the root physiological causes of vascular and cellular decay. We are going to count down from step 5 all the way to the most powerful, life-changing phenomenon, number 1. And I urge you to stick around for number 1 because it involves a highly specific, totally free walking technique that literally tricks your aging brain into immediately producing fresh, brand new stem cells to repair your memory. But before we dive into this life-changing biological protocol, I want you to go down to the comments section right now. Tell me your current age, exactly where you are tuning in from today, and what specific time of day your knees or lower back feel the absolute stiffest. I personally read every single comment, and I absolutely love seeing our global community of proactive, intelligent seniors come together to deeply support one another on this wonderful healing journey. Starting our countdown at number 5 is the crucial non-negotiable foundation of daily walking, which is the ultimate gravity-defying lymphatic flush. The dramatic and unfortunate truth is that after you cross the delicate threshold of 65 years old, your body's lymphatic system inevitably loses approximately 40% of its natural biological pump force. Unlike your cardiovascular system, which has your heart constantly pumping to move blood around, your lymphatic system, which is essentially your body's internal garbage disposal and immune highway, has absolutely no central pump. When you sit in a recliner all day, your cellular waste simply pools in your lower extremities. This is exactly why you experience deeply uncomfortable, swollen ankles, heavy, achy legs, and a frighteningly sluggish immune system that leaves you vulnerable to every single seasonal cold. Think of your lymphatic vessels exactly like a giant, dense kitchen sponge that is completely soaked with dirty, stagnant water. Until you physically wring that sponge out, the dirty water just sits there, breeding bacteria and causing massive systemic inflammation. When you simply walk, the gentle, rhythmic contraction of your massive calf muscles acts as a powerful secondary biological heart. Every single time your heel strikes the pavement, it forcefully squeezes that sponge, pushing the toxic lymphatic fluid up against gravity, out of your legs and back toward your vital organs for proper filtration and elimination. A recent fascinating clinical trial published by the University of Copenhagen demonstrated that just 22 minutes of continuous, moderately paced walking increased total lymphatic drainage in older adults by a staggering 52% within a single hour. This specific biological mechanism works so beautifully for aging bodies because it directly combats a destructive physiological process known as cellular senescence. Sen2 is a dangerous state where your cells basically become too old, rigid, and toxic to function, turning into what scientists call zombie cells that actively poison the healthy cells around them. By walking daily, you are literally flushing these microscopic toxins out of your muscle tissues before they can cause debilitating arthritis. I want you to optimally prepare for this daily lymphatic flush by walking exactly 15 minutes after you first wake up in the morning. While the morning air is still fresh, for a powerfully effective synergy tip, I want you to drink exactly 1 large 8-ounce glass of warm, filtered water with a tiny pinch of potassium-rich sea salt right before you tie your walking shoes. The gentle hydration and vital trace minerals actively thin out the sticky lymphatic fluid in your lower legs, making it incredibly easy for your calf muscles to effortlessly pump that toxic waste right out of your system, leaving your legs feeling wonderfully light and beautifully energized for the entire day. Moving aggressively on to number 4 on our incredible health countdown, we have the ultimate joint savior, which is the cartilage regenerator effect. This is exactly where the biological magic really begins to happen for your tired, aching bones. What your primary care doctor likely has not mentioned to you is that after you turn 70 years old, your major joints permanently lose roughly 30% of their natural ability to produce synovial fluid. Synovial fluid is the thick, slippery biological lubricant that keeps your knee and hip bones from painfully grinding against one another. When your internal synovial fluid levels predictably plummet with age, your protective cartilage begins to heavily dry out, crack, and violently tear, behaving very much like an old, dried-out rubber gasket on a classic car engine that has been neglected for decades. This dangerous friction forces your immune system to send painful, localized inflammation to the joint, which you experience as agonizing bone-on-bone osteoarthritis. A massive, multi-year clinical trial conducted by the esteemed researchers at Johns Hopkins University revealed that seniors who engaged in daily, low-impact walking saw an astonishing 38% increase in fresh synovial fluid production inside their knee capsules within just 4 weeks of consistent movement. Because your cartilage is completely avascular, meaning it has absolutely no direct blood supply to bring it nutrients, it relies entirely on a physical process called imbibition. When you walk, the rhythmic pressure of your body weight compressing and releasing on the joint acts exactly like a mechanical vacuum pump. It forcefully sucks fresh, oxygen-rich, nutrient-dense fluid deep into the starving cartilage tissue and then pushes the old inflammatory waste products right back out. I recently treated a wonderful patient named Martha, a 71-year-old retired school librarian from Sedona, Arizona. Martha came into my clinic in absolute tears because her right knee felt so incredibly stiff, swollen, and painfully throbbing that she could no longer walk down her front porch steps to check her daily mail. Her orthopedic surgeon had casually dismissed her pain, telling her it was simply the inevitable depressing result of old age, and aggressively tried to schedule her for a total knee replacement surgery. I immediately started Martha on a strict daily 20-minute gentle walking protocol on completely flat, even ground. Within 3 extremely short, miraculous weeks, Martha called my office front desk, absolutely ecstatic and crying tears of pure joy. Not only was she effortlessly walking down her front steps without holding the railing, but she had confidently signed up for a senior nature walking club in her beautiful local community. Her painfully swollen knee was completely and permanently relieved because we finally gave her starving, dry cartilage the exact mechanical pumping action it desperately needed to actively heal and breathe again. To properly harness this life-changing joint regeneration, you want to ensure that you are walking with a completely upright, tall posture, gently striking the ground with your heel, and rolling smoothly through to your toes. The scientifically perfect time to perform this joint healing walk is midday, right around noon, when your body's core temperature is naturally elevated and your connective tissues are incredibly warm and highly pliable. As a highly effective synergy tip, you must always pair your daily joint healing walk with a potent, bioavailable dose of highly concentrated turmeric extract containing black pepper, taken with your breakfast. The powerful curcumin compound completely neutralizes the jagged, destructive inflammatory enzymes inside your knee capsule, brilliantly ensuring that the fresh synovial fluid you produce while walking is completely pristine, beautifully smooth, and highly effective at cushioning your precious joints. If you are finding these deep, incredible physiological secrets helpful and you truly want to continue taking back control of your precious health from a broken, profit-driven medical system that just wants to lazily prescribe you another synthetic pill or push you into an unnecessary surgery, please take just 1 single second right now to gently hit that red subscribe button and warmly tap the thumbs up like button. It costs you absolutely nothing at all, but it sends a powerful, undeniable signal to the YouTube algorithm that this natural, science-backed health information is highly valuable, allowing us to rapidly reach and profoundly help millions of other suffering seniors around the world who are silently battling chronic pain and premature aging. Now let us dive incredibly deep into the top 3 most powerful biologically transformative steps of this daily walking protocol. Coming in fiercely strong at number 3 on our countdown is the ultimate blood sugar annihilator, precisely known as the post-meal metabolic reset. Prepare to be absolutely amazed because the mainstream medical community completely and utterly ignores the massive power of skeletal muscle when discussing senior diabetes and blood sugar control. I want you to think of your large leg muscles exactly like a massive high-capacity sponge for floating blood sugar. When you consume a heavy meal, especially one containing carbohydrates like bread, pasta, or potatoes, your blood sugar rapidly spikes. When you are young, your pancreas easily pumps out a hormone called insulin, which efficiently pushes that sugar into your cells. But after the age of 75, your body begins to suffer from a dangerous condition called insulin resistance, losing up to 45% of its natural ability to shuttle glucose out of the blood. The sugar just aggressively floats in your bloodstream, acting like microscopic shards of jagged glass, severely scratching and deeply damaging the delicate endothelium, which is the ultra-thin, protective inner lining of your blood vessels. This raging systemic vascular inflammation is the exact tragic reason why older adults suffer from severe neuropathy, losing feeling in their toes, and developing blinding macular degeneration. But here is the absolute medical miracle that they do not want you to know. When you physically walk, your large thigh and calf muscles completely bypass the need for insulin altogether. The mechanical contraction of your leg muscles opens up specific cellular doors called GLUT4 transporters, violently vacuuming the dangerous floating glucose right out of your bloodstream and directly into your muscle cells to be burned as immediate fuel. The world-renowned Mayo Clinic recently published a truly landmark, peer-reviewed paper showing that a simple 15-minute walk taken immediately after a heavy meal lowered dangerous post-meal blood sugar spikes by a staggering 64% in older adults. This is like opening a massive emergency bypass valve on a flooded, overflowing dam. By actively absorbing the glucose without insulin, we essentially rescue your mitochondria, the tiny, microscopic power plants located inside your cells, from literally suffocating in thick, sticky, toxic blood sugar. To correctly and perfectly use this incredibly powerful hack at home, you need to commit to walking for exactly 10 to 15 minutes directly after your heaviest, most carbohydrate-rich meal of the day, which for most seniors is usually dinner. You absolutely do not need to walk fast or aggressively sweat. A gentle, relaxing, highly casual stroll around your neighborhood block or even pacing around your living room is entirely sufficient to trigger this metabolic reset. For an incredible, scientifically backed synergy tip, I highly recommend that you carefully consume exactly 1 tablespoon of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar deeply mixed into a glass of water about 10 minutes before you eat that large meal. The highly potent acetic acid found naturally in the raw vinegar works perfectly and synergistically with the mechanical muscle contraction of your walking, effectively paralyzing the digestive enzymes in your stomach that break down carbohydrates, ensuring that your blood vessels remain wonderfully wide open, your blood sugar stays beautifully flat, and your sensitive nerves remain fully protected well into the late chilly evening hours. We have officially reached number 2 on our life-saving countdown, the impenetrable cognitive armor, beautifully recognized in the medical literature as the BDNF surge. You absolutely must understand today that cognitive decline, memory loss, and severe brain fog are actively stealing your youthful vitality, your precious family memories, and your long-term independence. As we inevitably cross the biological threshold into our 70s and 80s, our aging brains slowly begin to suffer from a tragic, destructive biological process called capillary rarefaction, where the millions of tiny, fragile, microscopic blood vessels inside your brain literally begin to wither away and permanently die off. Your deep brain tissues and your hippocampus, the specific memory center of your brain, literally begin to slowly suffocate to death from a severe lack of oxygen and vital nutrients. Listen to me very carefully. It absolutely does not matter how many crossword puzzles you do or how many expensive brain games you play on your computer. If your biological pipes are aggressively shrinking, the life-giving oxygen simply cannot physically get through to the neurons that desperately need it to form memories. A phenomenal, groundbreaking, long-term neuroimaging study conducted by brilliant researchers at Oxford University carefully tracked hundreds of seniors for a full decade. They definitively discovered that seniors who engaged in daily walking had a highly remarkable 47% larger hippocampus compared to their sedentary peers. This miraculous brain growth is caused by a massive, immediate biological release of a chemical called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF for short. BDNF acts exactly like premium, high-grade Miracle-Gro fertilizer specifically for your brain. It rapidly and violently forces your brain to sprout brand new healthy microcapillaries and powerfully stimulates the genesis of fresh brand new neural connections. Consider the deeply inspiring, beautiful story of Arthur, a 76-year-old retired hardworking structural engineer from the rainy city of Portland, Oregon. Arthur was suffering from incredibly frightening, severely debilitating brain fog. He was constantly losing his car keys, violently struggling to remember his beloved grandchildren's names, and deeply terrified that he was rapidly losing his brilliant mind. His doctors had coldly told him to simply get his affairs in order. I immediately introduced Arthur to a strict daily 30-minute morning nature walk protocol. Fast forward exactly 8 short weeks later, and I received a joyful, incredibly sharp, and beautifully written letter in the mail from Arthur. His terrifying brain fog had completely and permanently evaporated. The potent natural surge of BDNF from his daily walking had successfully quenched the neuroinflammation in his brain, wonderfully allowing his hippocampus to regenerate and physically rebuild the lost connections that had been cruelly torturing him with forgetfulness. To prepare this magnificent cognitive elixir properly, you absolutely must take your walk outside in the early morning sunlight, entirely avoiding the treadmill if possible. The natural full-spectrum optical light entering your eyes actively synchronizes your brain's circadian rhythm, further enhancing the massive release of brain-protecting chemicals. Here is your absolutely crucial non-negotiable synergy tip to make this work. You absolutely must pair your daily cognitive walk with a potent, highly concentrated omega-3 DHA fish oil supplement or a small raw handful of unroasted walnuts. The healthy essential fatty acids act exactly like a highly trained biological construction crew, safely and efficiently using the BDNF you generated from walking as the raw building blocks to physically rebuild your harsh, damaged neural pathways precisely where they are needed most to flawlessly preserve your precious memories. And finally, my friends, we arrive at the absolute number one, most powerfully astonishing and highly controversial benefit of all, the ultimate cellular supercharger, the mitochondrial rebirth protocol. I strongly promised you at the very beginning of this comprehensive video that this specific physiological secret was going to challenge everything you mistakenly thought you knew about aging and senior health. For decades, well-meaning but terribly misinformed fitness experts have strictly told seniors to simply walk at a slow, entirely continuous and boring pace. But the absolute, undeniable scientific truth is that varying your walking speed is the most profound, fast-acting, natural anti-aging stimulus currently known to exist on planet Earth. As we chronically age, the mitochondria inside our cells, which are the microscopic engines that create every single ounce of energy, you have become deeply mutated, heavily rusted, and completely dysfunctional. This is exactly why you feel so profoundly exhausted by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. When you implement a highly specific walking technique called variable pacing, it instantly triggers a massive, overwhelming biological process called mitophagy. Mitophagy is an incredible cellular mechanism that literally hunts down your old, weak, and dying mitochondria, selectively destroys them, and violently forces your body to rapidly build fresh, brand new, hyper-efficient, youthful mitochondria in their place. Think of this exactly like a master gardener aggressively pruning the dead, rotting branches off a massive, beautiful oak tree so that vibrant, fresh, green new growth can furiously explode in the spring. A truly groundbreaking, peer-reviewed clinical trial published by the prestigious Karolinska Institute meticulously analyzed the muscle biopsies of older adults. The brilliant researchers conclusively found that those adults who naturally varied their walking pace experienced a dramatic, undeniable 68% massive increase in pure mitochondrial density within just 6 short weeks. They literally biologically reversed the cellular age of their muscles by 20 entire years. To correctly, safely, and properly unleash this powerful supercharger, you must begin to implement what I call the 33 protocol during your normal daily walk. After you are wonderfully warmed up, I want you to walk at a brisk, highly purposeful pace as if you are slightly late for an important doctor's appointment for exactly 30 seconds. Then you will immediately slow down to a highly relaxed, gentle recovery stroll for exactly 3 full minutes. You will simply repeat this gentle, undulating cycle just 3 or 4 times during your walk. This microscopic, transient burst of cardiovascular demand aggressively blows right past your body's stubborn metabolic resistance, faithfully delivering a highly potent survival signal straight to your DNA, completely saving your cellular vitality. For the ultimate highly advanced synergy tip, you must strictly pair this variable walking protocol with a highly bioavailable coenzyme Q10, or CoQ10 supplement taken with your morning meal. The potent CoQ10 acts exactly like high-octane premium spark plugs for your newly generated mitochondria, brilliantly ensuring that your rapidly restored cellular engines remain incredibly vibrant, fiercely strong, and beautifully youthful, giving you boundless, jitter-free energy all day long without ever needing a dangerous artificial cup of afternoon caffeine. My incredibly dear friends, as you bravely, proudly, and gracefully navigate your 60s, 70s, 80s, and beautifully beyond, please always profoundly remember this one fundamental, undeniable biological truth: your daily quality of life, your ongoing physical freedom, and your long-term, fiercely guarded independence are entirely and completely dependent on your daily willingness to simply move your miraculous body. When you actively choose to optimize your blood flow, flush your lymphatic system, and rebuild your deep cellular engines using these powerful, entirely natural walking tools, you are not just temporarily warming up your cold, stiff joints or momentarily stopping a painful, annoying nighttime blood sugar spike. You are actively, aggressively preserving your precious physical independence. You are powerfully protecting your vital cognitive sharpness and deep memory so that you can always clearly recognize the beautiful, smiling faces of your beloved grandchildren. You are fiercely safeguarding your physical mobility so that you can confidently and safely walk through the neighborhood park, travel the world with your spouse, and joyfully enjoy your absolute golden years without ever needing a walker, a restrictive wheelchair, or a wooden cane. The mainstream profit-driven medical narrative falsely tells you every single day that physical decline, depressing misery, and vascular decay are simply tragically inevitable. They boldly tell you that you just have to quietly accept the chronic joint pain, the freezing cold extremities, and the debilitating, depressing stiffness. But I am fiercely telling you right now, looking you straight in the eye through this camera lens, that it is absolutely never ever too late to naturally heal. Your magnificent, perfectly designed, God-given body desperately wants to repair itself and thrive beyond your wildest imagination. It simply and quietly needs you to provide it with the exact right biological tools, the proper mechanical movement, and the sheer daily dedication to get the hard job done. All of the rigorous, highly esteemed, peer-reviewed scientific references and prestigious clinical studies for today's comprehensive deep dive video are carefully and precisely linked down in the description box below for your own personal educational research. If you truly want to continue this beautiful, powering journey of natural health, vibrant longevity, and fierce independence with us, make absolutely sure you confidently hit that red subscribe button right now to join our incredible family. And before you log off today, I genuinely deeply want to know down in the comments below, which of these 5 powerful, life-changing physiological walking secrets surprised you the absolute most, and exactly what time are you going to bravely start your daily walking routine tomorrow? I am Dr. Alan Mandell. Please stay wonderfully active, stay fiercely healthy, keep moving those miraculous legs, and I will be so incredibly happy to see you in the next video.